Hi guys, I am here with this week's art lesson. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday, got to rest and relax a little bit. So this week's lesson is something called Kirigami. It's Kirigami. It sounds similar to the word origami because it's actually very similar. They're both types of art forms that use paper. Origami is where you use squares of paper, like this, and you fold it in all the different directions and you make things like cranes and frogs and little boxes and all sorts of stuff. Kirigami is where you fold paper, but you also use scissors and cut the paper. So the simplest form of Kirigami that you guys have probably all done before is where you fold the paper and then you cut and make paper snowflakes. So that's what we're going to do. So everyone here at school is doing the same project and we are going to create a Kirigami mural. So we are using bright colored paper like this. We're cutting out our snowflakes, gluing them onto a background, and then I'm going to take all of them and hang them on the wall right next to each other so it makes a big mural. Now I know you guys are not here at school, but if you do one of these, there's a few options. You can either take a picture and send it to your teacher, and then I can print it off and put it on our wall. Or you can mail in your Kirigami, and I can get it that way in the mail. Or if your teacher comes and drops supplies off, you can give it to your classroom teacher. So that's a couple different ways that you can participate. Or you can just do some of your own and hang them up at home and have your own mural. So if you, like I said, the kids here at school are using colored paper. If you don't have that, here are some options. So you can use construction paper if you have it. You can also use plain white paper, and you can make a painted sheet for the background and then use the other sheet for your snowflake. You could use something like newspaper if you have it at home. You could use something like a magazine page. If you look through old magazines, sometimes the magazine pages are colorful, and you can choose one of those. You could choose a food box, an empty food box. Sometimes the, like for cereal and crackers and stuff, sometimes those are different colors. So there's lots of different options that I will talk you through when we get to that part. So you're going to need whatever you're going to use, 2 pieces. So you want a piece of white paper and then whatever the other thing you're going to use, either another piece of white for your painted paper or some of those other options. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. You're also going to need glue. It can be a glue stick or white glue. And a pencil or a marker or something to draw with and make shapes with. So that's what you're going to need. So you can gather up those supplies, and then I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see my desk. So, like I said, the kids at school are using these bright colors. Construction paper would work too. I'm going to show you how to use just 2 pieces of white paper. So first, we want to get these into squares. So the way that you do that is take one corner and fold it over so it's even with this side right here. And we're going to do that to both, like this. And then you can take your scissors and you can cut off this extra strip. Like that. And then when you open them up, you have 2 squares instead of rectangles. So, one piece you can set off to the side for the background. I'll show you how to do stuff on that in just a minute. This one is the one we're going to cut shapes out of. So we need to fold it 3 times. You're going to fold in half once to turn it into a rectangle. Then you're going to fold it in half again to turn it into a square. And then you're going to fold it again corner to corner to make a triangle. Like that. Now you have a triangle. So this is the part when you do paper snowflakes where you start cutting out shapes on the edges. If it's easier for you, you can take your pencil or marker or whatever you're drawing with, and you can draw the shapes first, so you have something to follow. And you can do any type of shape. Triangles are certainly the easiest to cut out, so if you have trouble cutting, or if you are someone that needs to do hand-over-hand cutting, triangles work fantastic. And you can do all different sizes, tall, short, really wide ones, really skinny ones. But you can also do other shapes too. You don't have to stick to triangles. You can draw half circles. There's all different things you can draw. So once you got them drawn, you're going to start cutting. Now make sure when you cut that you keep your paper folded. So you're going to cut all the way around, all your shapes. The key here is not to cut off a whole entire side, because that is going to turn it into pieces. It won't be one big snowflake, it'll be either 2 or 4 little pieces. And just work your way around. Until you've got all the shapes set up. Then you can open it up carefully. You don't want to rip it. And you've got your snowflake. Now, this is where you need your background paper. So if you were using newspaper, you could set this on, glue it down, and then just cut around the edge. Then it looks pretty cool because it gives it a different texture behind it. So that's one option. If you have a colored piece of paper, but you only had one, you could glue it onto the colored piece of paper. Or, what I'm going to do is make my own painted sheet. So I'm going to take this extra white piece, and I'm going to use my markers, and I am just going to draw or color big areas of color. I'm sticking to blue and purple because those are cool colors. That kind of reminds me of the winter. But you could also do bright colors too. If you didn't want to do blocks of color like this, like I am, you could do patterns and designs. So you could do polka dots or stripes or lines. You can make it look like plaid. You could do hearts, stars. Another option, I think I showed you guys how to do this in another lesson, is where you make a watercolor background. So you color on a Ziploc bag with your markers, and then you get your paper wet and do a print. I believe that was back in November or October. So if you want to see how to do that, you can go back to one of those lessons. That would be another option for painted paper. You don't have to use marker if you only have crayons or colored pencils at home. That would be fine too. If you have watercolors at home, that would be fine too. So you could do this as a quick background. And then my suggestion, instead of trying to put the glue on here, put the glue on here. It dries clear. Almost every glue there is dries clear. If you're using your art kit that I sent home, that has a glue stick in it and that dries clear. And then the key is to make sure you are trying to match up your edges as best you can, and then you can press it down. Just like that. And then you have your own background for your snowflake. And like I said, if you want to be part of the mural here at school, you can have someone help you take a picture of this and send it to your teacher, and then I can print that out and put it up on our mural. Bring it back up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This again is a type of art called Kirigami. So if you want to look it up, there's tons of different examples. Pretty intricate intricate pieces that are done, so it's kind of cool looking. So this was the Kirigami that we were doing this week. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next week with another art lesson. Bye guys!